Hey, what's Mayo? Today we're moving on to lesson 2 of energy shields. I'm excited. The first video that I did was how to create an energy shield, and we were focusing on how to create an energy shield for yourself. As I said in that video, you really want to start with only shielding yourself first. You want to get really good at that first, and then you can work on shielding other people, other things, or a place. So this is a jump, right? We are going to start with how to shield others. You can shield anyone or anything, a person, a plant, an animal, etc. I will preface this by urging you not to shield someone else in your own energy shield. Do not shield someone else in your energy shield. Okay, for example, I have a fiance. I do not have him in my energy shield. Even if we're right next to each other, I move my energy shield so he's not in it. Don't bring someone into your energy shield. I will tell you why. Your energies will meld way too much. You will start feeling all of each other's crap because you're permeating in the same bubble. But generally, you do not want to have someone else in your personal energy shield. Your bubble is your bubble, okay? If you do bring someone else into your bubble, be sure it's only for a short period of time or a limited amount of time. Like I said, having someone in your bubble for a long period of time could be very, very draining for both people. All right, how to shield others. Are you ready? Because I am, okay. Step number 1, the most important one. If you are going to be shielding another person, have their consent first. Oh my God, consent is so important. I cannot stress it enough. Don't go shielding another person if you have no consent whatsoever. If you have already done lesson number 1, the first video in this energy shield mini series, if you've played around with how intricate it is to shield your own energy, if you've played around with that, you know how massive of a difference it can make if you're not shielding yourself properly. Imagine doing that to another person without their knowing or without their consent. If they're not communicating to you how it feels, then it could be a really not fun experience for them. Examples of when people often shield someone, it's usually a loved one, a child, like their own child, or a family member or a close person. Sometimes people do this if someone that they love is going through a really hard time or they're sick or something. It's our natural instinct to like, I'm going to bubble this person. I'm going to protect them. Number 2, if you have consent from this person to help protect them and surround them with a loving, protective energy, now it's time to picture what this energy shield should be. You need to fit it for the person and you need to fit it for the situation. You also need to be aware of their energy, the size, the density, all the things that we already did in the first video. Do that for someone else. If this person is consenting and super into it, you can communicate back and forth to what they want, what they would like, and how it feels for them. Number 3, visualize the shield surrounding this person. And again, like we talked about in the first video, you want to leave some wiggle room so it's not too small, but you also don't want it to be too big because that may feel weird for them and it also may be too draining for you. Number 4, and this is a very important one, you can set the intention with the energy that you're sending to surround them, that it will dissipate when they are ready for it to dissipate. I encourage you not to surround someone with energy with you being the one holding it there constantly. You want to send the energy in a one-time send. You place the energy and you leave it there, and you don't have to consciously focus on it 24/7. You're essentially leaving it there to slowly dissipate over time. And this person can choose to uphold it and keep it there and welcome that energy to stay, or they can let it dissolve slowly over time, or they can dissipate it quickly if they're like, no, this isn't working. You definitely want to have intentions woven into this energy that you're sending, because you don't want to trap someone in energy that they don't want to be in. This goes for animals, And all of this also goes for plants. Any type of living thing that you're using your will to surround it with energy that you've created and intended and all that stuff, you want to leave the power in their hands. You're saying, I'm giving you this energy, do what you want with it. And they have full right and full power to dissipate it instantly if they don't like it. Moving on to how to shield the energy of a space. It's very paralleled instructions, so it's not going to take that long to describe this to you, I promise. You can also shield a space, whether it's small or large. And again, I urge you to not shield a space that has a bunch of living things in it without consent. And again, do not expand your personal energy shield to encompass the whole thing. You want to leave your bubble alone, and you want to create a separate bubble to surround the perimeter of a space. For example, I have my bubble, the house has a bubble, the property has a bubble. We got layers. It's like an onion up in here. So yeah, don't expand your personal bubble, create another layer. That will be much more effective and way less draining. Number one, similarly, if you have anyone who is living in this space, you need their consent to do this, because if they're going to be living in a bubble of energy that you've created, the kind thing is to have their consent. And just like previously, you also want to weave in the intention that if that person does not want to be in the bubble, if they change their mind, the willpower is in their hands. They are allowed to break out of your bubble. They're allowed to change the barrier. They're allowed to exclude themselves from the energy. Consent and leave the power in their hands. Cool. Step 2, choose the energy shield. Again, observe the space, observe the situation, what fits for this space and this situation, how big, what is it made of, etc., etc. 3, you visualize it and feel it, whatever your spiritual senses are. Everyone's different, so however you sense, feel it surrounding the space, and you want to really focus on it covering everything. Don't leave any patches. Make sure to kind of mentally do a perimeter check, like, yes, everything is intact. This is a complete bubble. Have it solidly and completely surround a space. This goes for any kind of shields too. You always want to do like a mental check of like, okay, everything, we're good. Everything's surrounded. Number 4, and the last step, is to set the intention that this shield will stay there for however long you need it to stay there. Like I said before, if there are other people living in that space, they need to have their own free will to be able to exit or enter as they please. But you can still set a separate intention that the shield will remain intact and it will still be there however long you want it to be or however long you need it to be. That is today's video, you guys. That's lesson 2 of energy shields. We went from shielding only ourselves to knowing how to shield others, knowing how to shield a place. You can start experimenting and playing around with energy shields, but seriously, respect other souls and their own free will. I will make a separate video sharing more in depth about my personal experiences with energy shields, sharing what my energy shield is and more of the things that I've done. I purposely did not want to share that with the first video or with this video because I want people to form their own imagination of what their energy shield should be made of, what it looks like, what it feels like, etc. You want to listen to your own intuition and your own instinct on what is right for you. But if you're curious to know more about what I've done and what works for me, then you can watch the next video. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to come back for more. If you enjoy my spiritual videos, check out my spiritual video playlist. I have lots of other things on my YouTube channel, so check out all of my playlists and all of my videos. Thanks for coming and hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned some things. I hope you have fun playing around with energy because it's so much fun. Thanks for watching.
Classic male.